Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for downloading episode 166 of We Got This with Mark and Hal. I know I asked this a lot, but I'm going to ask it one more time until next week when I ask it again. Please take a moment, if you haven't already, to rate and review the show, especially on Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help new people find the show, but the more of these reviews that we get, especially the good ones, the more likely it is that we're going to get to have some official merchandise so you can wear We Got This on your back, on your torso. Who knows? We may have pants. Who knows? The future is not predictable at this point, but that merch is not going to show up. That much I can tell you, unless we get those reviews. Very, very important. For now, though, please enjoy episode 167 of We Got This with Mark and Hal.
Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Clean Slate 11.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Let's just clean this slate.
Oh, finally. A clean slate episode.
And also, finally, this guy, we've known each other for how many years now?
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever?
Did I introduce you two guys?
Yes,
you may
did.
have, yeah.
You introduced the two of us.
Look at that.
Look at this.
That.
And I remember years ago, before we started this, several years ago, we all went to dinner. It was the three of us and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling you the idea, like, I want to do this podcast, and it'll be Mark and I settling like topics that people argue about that aren't really majorly important. And you immediately were like, oh, you mean like ketchup on a hot dog?
Oh, yeah.
And that is the topic that launched 1,000 ships for
Isn't
us.
that funny?
Yeah.
Well, it's always just my example of how there's a fascist in everybody. Because you'll get the most liberal people. I can think of two right now that have just yelled at me and been like personally offended over me putting ketchup on a hot dog.
Are they from Chicago?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Just people will go nuts.
Yeah. And we should probably mention that the person we're talking about is legendary veteran character actor Eric Edelstein.
Yes.
You've seen him in a million things, and you love him in all of them. And
You hear him in We Bear Bears.
you hear him in We Bear Bears.
He's responsible for several deaths in Jurassic World.
Oh, yeah.
I was just gonna ask you, what's your favorite way you've died in a thing? You've been picked up by a dinosaur in Jurassic World. You've been slit crotch to eyeball in the new classic horror film Green Room.
I got shot with a trank gun, I think, once on Grimm. I mean, you can't. It's funny because nobody thinks about that guy's mom, but my mom has had to watch me die.
Your mom,
many times.
Will you tell briefly or quickly the story of your mom going to see The Hills Have Eyes 2?
Oh, yeah. Where I get dropped off a cliff.
Right.
And she went with her whole book club. And
to The Hills Have Eyes 2, a horrific, gross horror movie.
I mean, just bless you, Marianne. But
Yeah.
she took her whole book club, and the opening scene is naturally a woman giving birth to a zombie baby. And right as like the baby starts to come out, my name came on the screen, and all these 60-something-year-old women in Vancouver, Washington just started to cheer. And nobody could figure it out. And it was all these like goth kids and like whoever's at The Hills Have Eyes 2 on a Friday. And they were terrified of the book club.
This book club is no joke.
they're
They
goth.
just cheered at a woman dying in childbirth.
Get away from them.
So Eric has agreed to join us. You and I met because we went through Second City together.
Oh, yeah. It's what, 2002?
Yeah, that was when we graduated.
I mean, it's insane. It feels like forever ago and then like yesterday.
Yeah.
It was
Exactly.
so fun.
It's like I can't remember you not being like part of my. You know what I mean? Like,
Always.
yeah, Eric's my buddy. I've known him forever. So bizarre, and here we are.
And then I met Mark doing a play.
Yep.
And
Right around the same time, just after that.
it's a slightly different story of when I met you, Hal, because Mark and I hung out for two hours, and then I met him, and then he said, you're big. Can you help me go beat up a guy?
At least
And we've been
what you were
friends
getting
ever
into.
Yeah. He like, I'm going to feel this guy out for 2 hours. And he was having like a roommate conflict. And he just wanted me to stand there and be menacing. Where I think he's like, wow, I just met a giant. I can use him.
Eric's very tall, everybody.
I'm a giant.
And you didn't bring your bowling shirt headshot with you to that.
I should have.
was so
I
great.
should have.
So like the friendliest.
And then I had the football jersey
Oh,
one.
yeah,
I feel
you
like
did.
every big guy. Did you do a football jersey one?
Of course.
Yeah, you have to.
Hal,
Yeah.
you
You
did
have
like
to.
a hammer and hard hat one.
I did.
With a dress shirt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It's a
there was
legendary
dress-
headshot.
It's like the New York State Thruway. Like I work at a toll booth.
It's but willing to help out with manual
Hey,
labor.
What do you need a nail put into a board? I'm here. Don't worry.
I'm wearing a hard hat. It's cool. This nail's not going to get me.
Yeah.
This dress shirt untucks.
What size shirt? You only have a small helmet? It's okay. I have a large head. I'll just put it on top.
No, I'll make it work. It's
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah, it's a hard yarmulke.
I saw Hard Yarmulke live. They were good.
Oh, yeah.
Original basis. Really good. Underrated.
Original
They opened
basis.
for Beyonce at Coachella, right?
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
About 8 hours before. At a bar in India. They were great, though.
If you
Yeah.
played Coachella 2011, are you going, I opened for Beyonce
Oh,
at Coachella?
for sure. For
Oh,
sure. It's
man.
a long open, man. It's a long open. Puck from the real world is going around telling people that he opened for Beyonce.
Is he still alive?
Oh, he's loving
I
it.
feel like he's someone that you would have encountered somehow.
I
in
saw
your
him
life.
once and was like totally starstruck. Like,
By Puck from
for
the
sure.
real world?
Oh, yeah. If it's somebody from your childhood,
Yeah.
Right.
it's just, it's a different deal. Like, it's a different deal.
Does he still have all those scabs? I remember him being real scabby on that show.
And Snot Rockets.
Yeah, he's kind of kept that vibe and
Right
rolled
on.
with it.
He's kept that vibe.
Yeah, he's made it work. But I think when I saw him, he was like a dad.
Hey, good for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's a
The
dad.
scabby baby.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
scabby people make scabby babies, Mark.
Sure. I know how it
You're
works.
not-
I know how genetics work.
Yeah.
It's a recessive gene, but both parents have it.
I imagine all of his kids look like Dickens orphans. Like they're just
for
filthy.
sure.
Everyone's missing at
No.
least 4 teeth, but
Dying
not,
for gruel.
not two
Yeah.
next to each other. Yeah, they just
None of their
wanna-
gloves have fingertips.
Yeah, and they blow snot rockets. All right, Eric, you're here to clear a slate with us. I have a bunch of
Okay.
small topics. Neither of you have seen them. I
No.
just
No,
pulled them
I love it.
from our list of suggestions.
This is very exciting.
We're just gonna dive right in.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
See how many we get to.
This is best fictional house. This is Roosevelt Sinker, which seems like a that can't be your name, can it? And if so, can I have some of the billions of dollars that
Yeah.
it sounds like your family is worth?
Roosevelt Sinker the Fourth asks,
Yeah.
which fictional house is the best?
By the way, Roosevelt Sinker's father is the person you see on The New Yorker. He's that side profile. That's how you know.
He's good. He's
Yeah,
good.
really
Mr.
great.
Sinker
Yeah.
Esquire.
So who did I couldn't even think of a fictional house. That's why I put it up here.
Amityville Horror, the house in that is
But
iconic.
that's a real house.
Oh,
right?
that's true. It is a real house.
What about the Addams Family house?
I thought Brady Bunch.
Oh,
First thing that
Yeah.
popped in my brain. I mean, I can see the whole layout of the house,
Yeah.
every bit of it, and then it's somewhere in the valley.
Yeah.
We should go look. I've been meaning to.
They've
find that
redone the
house for-
exterior, though, from what I've heard.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh my! There ought
Probably
to be
people
a
just
law.
came
Are
by
you
and,
kidding?
and pulled up and took pictures in front of
I
it too
don't
many
care.
times.
You've hung yourself on that cross. You're the
Exactly.
Brady Bunch house. You're
You said-
staying there.
How do you get into that house and not know? Like the realtor doesn't say, full disclosure, this is the Brady
Oh,
Bunch
yeah.
house.
Did
Like,
the Brady-
you have to know? Like when you go to like the open house has to be filled. Like there's still people taking pictures
Come on.
of the outside of it.
Or just touring it just to get in that. Like I once went to one of Elvis's house in Beverly Hills. It was up for sale. It's like a $28 million estate. And I had to
Did you
through
go
that
and
with a
walk
straight
through
face.
like you were going to buy it?
Yeah, with a straight face.
So, can I
And a
fit a
2000
helicopter on
Sebring.
top?
Yeah,
2000
yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
have that anymore. do
No, I wish.
you?
I
You tell
got
the
an older
story-
one. I
you
got
tell
an
the-
older one.
You tell the story of how you got the Sebring.
Well, I did a good old game show run. When Hal and I first met, I went around on every game show, and I ended up being on a game show called The Chair with John McEnroe.
Yeah.
Where, like, at the time, it's like, this is it. This is the craziest. And now The Chair wouldn't be edgy enough.
Right.
But they would monitor people's heart rates. And if your heart rate went above a certain beats per minute, you would start losing the money you would win. So people would watch their heart rate go way up and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my god.
And I was on there, and John McEnroe was the host. And you just start answering these questions, and you're literally sitting in this chair, and then they're doing things to try to terrify you. So McEnroe would like hit tennis balls at people, or they would shoot stuff, or have boa constrictors.
Wait, shoot stuff?
For real. I kid you not, and I should have kept it. It's like I've never kept anything. But at one point, I got a trivia question correct, and I was up to $25,000, and then you know that they're coming to scare you. So and it had happened once or twice before, so you just think to yourself, I'm going to be calm. Whatever it is, they cannot hurt me. I'm going to be so calm. They cannot hurt me. They legally can't hurt me.
Right.
Well, you've signed away something that says that they legally can hurt you. And then they're shooting this spark thing at me, and then I feel it burning through where I have my mantras, they can't hurt you. And I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm hurting. And then I'm like, whoa. And a spark from this thing had gone through and had burned my polyester big and tall shirt. And then, but it was amazing because you saw to the heart of who he was. McEnroe starts yelling, cut! Hey, he's on fire! Hey! And they're like, we can't stop the game, John. He's like, I don't care! He's heel. And I'm like, I'm good. He's like, you're good, Eric, because you got $25,000! Because my heart rate didn't go down. But I swear part of it was McEnroe being so cool.
You know what? Good job, McEnroe. Now, you won a 2000 Sebring.
Which was new at the time.
Which was new at the time.
It was an incredible automobile.
Yeah. And, but they weren't going to give you the car.
Well, this is where it gets really funny. And it was an early lesson in Hollywood of how things can work on a bad day. Just as like not getting paid by like comedy promoters in Spokane was a great lesson. But the show got canceled.
Right.
And they weren't airing anymore. And there's a clause in the thing you sign away that also says they can hurt you, that if the show does not air, they don't have to pay you. And I was at like, I think $33,900. A life-changing sum. I was literally working at Starbucks at the time. And they were arguing and saying, well, we don't really have to pay him. Thank God, John McEnroe did a publicity tour before the show got canceled. And part of it was like, people don't want to watch McEnroe terrorize people into losing money. Like, here's Bill. He's a plumber from Schenectady. Oh my God. He just lost $250,000 because McEnroe yelled at him. And so part of this PR thing was being like, McEnroe being, I'm nice. So this whole thing's like, they're like, well, John, we hear it's not all just adversarial with you and the guests. You're like, no, here, look at me. Here's me and this big guy hitting it off. And then they cut to a clip of me on there winning money and him being cool to me. I think maybe when my shirt was burning, I'm not sure. But it was on like The View. So I had my buddy that was at the time in law school call and impersonate a lawyer. I didn't know anybody. I was in Second City classes with Hal. And they're like, we most assuredly think that showing Mr. Edelstein and John McEnroe on The View constitutes a viewing, and we don't want to say that you're not giving this barista the money he won. And so then later on that day, I got to go and pick up a check. They gave me a check and a mug.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which were you more excited about?
Dude, the check. Yeah. I think we blew a lot of it. Yeah. If you were friends with me for a 9-month period back then, we all lived like Elvis.
Yep.
And then I was a bouncer.
But you got a really great Sebring out.
Dude, we had an incredible Sebring.
All right, let's get back to fictional heists. So we've got, what's on the list? Like
the Brady Bunch house.
The Brady Bunch house is great.
The Munsters house.
The Munsters house is great. This it's always spooky ones.
Monster house.
Bates Motel or the
Psycho house. Yeah.
Oh, the Psycho house.
I feel
terrifying. It's terrifying.
The Little House on the Prairie.
Oh yeah. Although you
also
think of the
terrifying.
Bluff kind of first, really. You know.
Yeah.
I always think that young Melissa Gilbert's gonna fall down that hill. My wife Jennifer loves Little House on the Prairie. It is her favorite show. You could put on, if you put on an episode right now, picked it at random, and she walked into the room, she'd go, "Oh, that's episode blah 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 blah." Like she knows everything.
Wow.
That
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of that show.
It's charming. I get why she likes it.
Mm-hmm.
But the opening is always young Melissa Gilbert running down the hill. And like children don't have any kind of coordination. And every time I'm like, is that her parent? Were they okay with it? This is why children are excellent. Her knees are probably gone. It terrifies me. That probably says more about me than the opening of Little House on the Prairie, though.
In a wonderful way, man.
Well,
You're worried about her.
I am. I'm very worried.
But are you still worried she's going to go down?
There's a part of me that's still worried. I'm also learning about my general level of intelligence and information retention, where I'm like, no, this is the time she gets hurt.
Was this the
This
same?
is the one. She's going down
it.
now.
Was this the
Everybody
same
watch.
recorded intro every time? Or
Yes.
they okay?
Yeah.
For
Then
years.
yeah, all right.
They didn't like change. It wasn't like Police Squad
Where they change it around
changed
every
little
time.
Things.
They just had her run down that hill every week. Yeah. Go, Melissa. I don't care about your boots. Go.
This is my least favorite
Yeah.
part of being on the
Go.
show. Let's think of other sitcom houses, because I think that if it's not going to be one of these haunted houses, it's going to be a sitcom house,
The
right?
house from Silver Spoons that had a train track going through it. And
Pretty
arcade
epic
games.
house.
My mind went there as well.
Yeah.
I wanted all that stuff.
I don't know why I always loved the empty nest house. Just because I thought that was because it had that, like, it was tall in the living room. But this just may be like architectural design. It's not as iconic. I'm like, that's actually a nice house in
Golden
Florida.
Girls. I mean, they had a place. We all wanted to live there,
That is
man.
beautiful.
You
Are
guys,
kidding?
they make a Golden Girls clue board now.
No,
And it's
they
not about a
don't.
murder. It's who ate the last piece of cheesecake.
Sophia.
Of course it was Sophia.
on.
It's in her purse.
Yeah.
There's only one suspect.
But she did it.
Real short game. Sophia.
It's just whichever character can get to the lanai first to accuse her.
Yeah, you just open it. And it's one card that says, "It was me, pussycat." That's how you know. That's it.
Now, okay, let me do this. Because I think it's going to be one of the haunted houses or a sitcom house, and I don't think you can beat the Golden Girls or the Brady Bunch. As far as the sitcom houses go, what do you think tops? Do you think Brady Bunch tops Golden Girls?
I think because it's inside and outside. Like, I can see all of it. Where the Golden Girls was inside, but man, Brady Bunch it's iconic.
Yeah.
And the yard. I love the steps on the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Like the design. When they made the Brady Bunch movies in the early '90s, and you saw, or mid '90s, and you saw the set, and it was like perfectly recreated. You went, you feel like you're home.
That staircase is just one of the great pieces of architecture. So is there a haunted house that beats the Brady Bunch house?
I mean, the Munsters house does have a full dragon living under the staircase.
Yeah, it does.
And the Addams Family house, at least the version, not even the version on the TV show, the version in the movie is mind-blowingly cool.
Yeah. Dilapidated Victorian mansion sort of thing.
What do you think?
I like the Brady Bunch house.
I feel like the Brady Bunch house, everyone knows it and loves it, and nothing's going to kill you.
There you go.
There you go.
It's the Brady Bunch house.
Asked and answered. Thank you, Roosevelt Sinker. And
Thank you, Roosevelt Sinker.
yes, I look forward to meeting you and seeing your cravat collection. All right, Valerie Rogers asks, best chain restaurant style appetizer.
Oh.
So this could be like
The bloomin' onion.
bloomin' potato skins.
I mean, I've annihilated cheese sticks with both of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, they're so good.
once Arby's had those in drive-thru, that was a problem. If I cannot get out of my car and get restaurant quality cheese sticks, that is not good for anyone.
Is there a
they're
varied
good.
quality to cheese stick? Because I feel
Hell
like
yeah.
I feel like
Are you
cheese
kidding?
sticks that you get in a bar are going to taste exactly the same as cheese sticks you're going to get in a
There's the
drive-through.
breadstick kind, which is never as good. Then there's like the battered, the way it should be.
Like the,
And you're getting ranch and you're getting Italian.
yeah.
Italian. All right, mozzarella sticks is up there, but does this mean a proprietary
No,
appetizer?
just style. Like the bloomin' onion is also like the cactus bloom or whatever
Right.
in other places.
Yeah.
I used to, this is like the height of my Hal should probably see a therapist instead of going to the restaurant. I would go to Outback Steakhouse. And I did this once. Like I didn't want to wait for a tea. I went by myself, sat at the bar, ate half a bloomin' onion, then the largest prime rib they had, Caesar salad, mashed potatoes, and dessert. And that was like a regular,
You ate
somewhat
a
regular
whole
meal.
bloomin' onion?
Yeah, sometimes it's just half.
He said half.
Sometimes half.
A bloomin' onion to
Because when
me
I hear
is-
half, I'm like, dude, good on you for not eating the whole onion.
But really, it's like the part you get to the soggy parts that you don't want anymore.
Oh, yeah. And then right then the steak shows up like, you know what? I'm not going to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
going to be good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, an onion is the size of a baseball.
Yeah.
And a bloomin' onion is the size of a basketball.
Yeah.
So there's gotta be, whatever they're doing to it is absolutely terrible for you.
Well, the sauce
It's
is
so much
good.
more batter than anything else.
But the batter is great.
Yeah, I wish I didn't love it. I mean, I just
too.
wish I didn't.
I can't have it now that I'm doing Weight Watchers. I can't have it. And even like, you know, you would enjoy it, and then you'd find the article that's like the most unhealthy dish on this planet Earth is the bloomin' onion. It's 5,000 calories.
It's pretty
When
insane.
you touch it, like
Yeah.
it just
It's
seeps through your
nuts.
skin. But you know what? I love it.
But it's not going to be the bloomin' onion. I don't think is going to be
No?
What else? We got potato skins are a dark
Potato skins,
horse, but I love them.
Potato
every
skins
time.
are great. The mozzarella sticks I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
They're just so good. Well, because you know cheese gets you high.
What?
They've proven this now. Yeah, cheese gets you high.
It's like an endorphin rush or something.
Well, there's a chemical in there that is also given from the mother to its baby to make it want more. And it's still in there.
Mothers that get their babies high usually wind up in jail, though.
Talking about cows, Mark.
It's those cows from Chick-fil-A that are always painting those signs.
Yeah,
They're
man.
so high you can tell by how their writing looks.
Yeah, chicken's not spelled like that.
Still apostrophe.
Yeah, if you can figure out how to get paint and a ladder, then you can probably figure out how to spell eat more chicken.
Look, if you can figure out how to hold a paintbrush and a hoof,
Yeah.
you should get the Nobel Prize just for that alone.
For
What does
hoof
that look
painting?
like?
Do they have one of those?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh,
Kendrick
this is
Lamar
a tough
just
one.
won it right after the Pulitzer Prize.
Man.
It was the second award.
Shout out to Kendrick
good.
Lamar getting a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
That's
Stay
awesome.
humble. What about buffalo wings? You're a vegetarian now,
I am.
but there was a time where you would eat chicken
Oh, my
wings.
God, yeah. Yo, yeah.
I mean, they're great.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
Have you guys
They're so
had,
good.
have you guys ever had the buffalo cauliflower?
Love them.
It's
Yes.
a big hit. I'm a big fan of those.
I've also had a ton.
Oh,
Where
really?
It's like, oh, yeah. Where you got to find that place that does it where it actually tastes like
Yeah.
a buffalo wing.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause it's
this ain't good for me.
mostly
This is
breading.
So good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the sauce and like it's greasy and perfect and hey, it's great.
Well, what's on the table right now? Tater skins, mozzarella sticks.
Bloomin' onion,
I'm stuck on this chain thing because I'm trying to think of proprietary ones.
nachos.
Like the bloomin' onion is
But it means
proprietary to
But it's
Outback.
chain style. It's not chain. It's chain style. So it's something
It said
you would
chain
find-
style
Yes,
on the
it did
thing?
say
So
chain
like Red
style.
Robin stacks onion.
Right, the onion ring stack.
They're
Right.
so good.
Yeah,
They're very
onion rings
good.
is another
Red
one.
Robin has a thing where you can get, and it's horrible. I wish they didn't have it. Where you can get 3 different kinds of apps.
Oh, an appetizer
Oh,
sampler
dude.
is
Oh,
my all-time favorite. Now, maybe this could help us answer this. Appetizer sampler comes to the table. What's the first thing you reach for?
hot cheese stick every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once it gets cold, it's no good. The other ones are still. The other ones are okay as they get colder. But
Yeah.
the cheese stick, like you don't want it to taste like polio string cheese covered
No.
in like shake and bake or whatever.
You don't want to know
turns-
what it is.
Yeah, it turns real bad real fast. When you bite into it, it should like
Yeah.
pull like melted mozzarella, not
Oh,
be
yeah.
like
It doesn't want to feel like string cheese that you dropped in Cheerios.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is a story. I feel like a lot of internet journalism nowadays, like there's like a breed of journalists where it's like I'm going to try something ridiculous that's offered by a company, and I'm gonna sort of live journal my experience, and then I'll put an article out. So this writer, she went to a Brooklyn TGI Fridays, and they had unlimited. You would get an appetizer and you would get it unlimited for as long as you were there. So she went when they opened and asked, you choose one and you eat it throughout the day and that's it. And
What?
so she chose mozzarella sticks and she ate them through, like watching her go from like, oh, these are pretty good to hating that food with the white hot passion of 1,000 suns is incredible.
Yeah. And cheese has constipatory properties, so I imagine by the end of the day, it's like having a cheese cork in your butt.
Oh, Cheese Cork in Your Butt is another great band that I saw.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're closing for Beyonce at Coachella in 2 years.
Yeah. The 76 station in Indio.
All right. Top 3 on the table. The bloomin' onion, the mozzarella stick, and the potato skin. What's going to come out of it?
I feel like mozzarella sticks are just sort of
Yeah.
everywhere.
Sticks. Yeah.
Mozzarella sticks with marinara or with
Of
ranch?
course. Marinara. Well,
I mean, I want 3 of them. For every 380 marinara, I want 1 ranch. And Red Robin will let me do that.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
allow you. I like
They'll
the
let
idea.
me do that.
Yeah.
They'll
Go
bring-
somewhere else, so we're going to have to ask you to
No.
leave.
All right.
It's happened, man. Fine, I'll go.
All right, it's the mozzarella stick asked and answered. Next topic.
All right. Best grilled cheese and best grilled cheese pairing. This is from E. Clayton Harland II.
Ooh, we're on a cheese run right now.
What is the pairing? Is that like
Like tomato soup. I
tomato?
think.
Well, it's
Tomato soup is the correct
Because you
pairing.
can dip the sandwich. Do you dip the sandwich in the soup? I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to check in with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
just to
yeah.
make
Tomato
sure I wasn't-
soup
Oh,
is
yeah.
the official. So that second half of that question is answered.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of grilled cheese? Are we talking like the fancy ones? Because I do love a Gruyere and pear grilled cheese. I'm a big fan of that. Or just classic cheddar and tomato is a great grilled cheese.
That's more Knoxville.
What?
You came out of the gate with Gruyere and pear.
Yeah, Gruyere and
Knoxville,
pear.
Tennessee.
Have you ever had a Gruyere and pear grilled cheese sandwich?
No, but I bet it's great.
It is.
I'm sure it's
wonderful.
delicious.
Is it really?
Yeah, apple inside, pear inside in a grilled cheese is, oh man, that's a great combo. But I feel like, is it too much to have a grilled cheese with tomato and the tomato soup?
I don't. At that point, what are you trying to moderate?
Yeah.
Too much tomato by far. For the sake of propriety, I can't have tomato in it. So it has to look at its dead brethren ground up into a paste.
All right, what do you guys like?
I'm like this. I'm probably more Knoxville than you. I just want like either cheddar or American cheese in between Stroman white bread, buttered, toasted, and fry that up and just serve it to me.
If we did an episode that was best bread, you would just be angling for Wonder the whole time, wouldn't you?
No, Wonder Bread, the crust is too thick. Stroman white bread. You want like a nice, I like the yellowish brown all around. I don't like the cooked top. Come on.
I like a good crusty bread.
I like a crusty bread if it's crusty all around, but
Right.
not when it's like a little, like we overdid the top a little bit.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is
I get you.
not uniform. But that's me. I like a very basic. Although I do like a lot of different cheeses. That just feels like that was the American cheese I had growing up.
Right.
Like the American or cheddar. That was my
Look,
childhood.
Velveeta melts great.
Oh, it does.
The dangerous thing with those is you can also get them at a drive-thru. In LA, there's like Rick's or like those hamburger places.
Like at a classic grilled cheese, just at a,
Doesn't
here's your
Josh-
triangle, enjoy your commute.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
It makes a commute better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everything just changed.
I remember back in the early Sebring days, we would go to get a burger, and I ordered a cheeseburger. We're at a drive-thru. I ordered a cheeseburger, and Eric's like, I got this. 2 hamburgers, please. I was like, what? I wanted cheese on my burger. We pull away from the drive-thru, and he opens up the center console of the Sebring, and he's like, beat the system, man. Bring your own cheese. American singles wrapped in the console. It was wintertime, so it wasn't going to get too
fine.
hot. It was fine.
February's fine for cheese in your car. That's when it works.
We've been degenerates for far too long.
It's so funny.
That's amazing.
So maybe the perfect grilled cheese is a combination of these new wave with the fruit and all the different things inside and classic. I'm going to throw one out there that I think is a good combo of a good cheese and a good bread, but not too out there like, brie and gorgonzola and pear and arugula or whatever. I'm going to say cheddar on grilled sourdough.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
That's great.
Love
That feels like a good combo of classic but high quality
And great with a tomato.
and great with
Yes.
tomato.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic with tomato.
So are we saying a cheddar cheese sourdough with a tomato soup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
of course
right.
We are.
Asked and answered.
What are we, animals? All right. Next this is Mark Hershon. Oh, hey, Mark. What's going on?
What's up, Mark?
Oh, hey, Mark.
He posted this in the Facebook group. Best Pepperidge Farm American Collection cookie.
Milano.
The Mint Milano, right?
Mint Milano.
That's in the American collection because there's Chessmen.
Chess, man.
Nobody eats that.
Pirouettes. Are pirouettes in the collection or no?
I don't think.
Oh, no. Wait, are there Milanos? This is the tin that's got the
Wait
divided
a
sections.
Oh, this is like but it's not the blue one. It's not the blue.
Not
tin.
that blue Danish where everything's shortbread just shaped
No.
differently. trying to convince me that's a pretzel.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants
At Christmas time, I like them because they sort of remind me of the holidays. You don't like the blue Danish?
I mean, I'll eat them.
Shortbread?
I'm not that fired up about it.
All right.
Yeah, that's any
It's
point in
there.
the story.
Yeah, no, it's there.
I had one just in my car this past Christmas.
No, you didn't.
And I would just periodically be like, I'm gonna give me one of them little blue tin cookies.
Oh, well, what makes Christmas dangerous now is you can like watch something on the Food Channel and get it delivered. So I saw this thing on Collins Street, fruitcakes. This really famous fruitcake they make in Texas, in Waco.
And they just deliver. Well, fruitcake will last forever, I guess.
Man, this didn't.
No.
It was so
Really?
good. I mean, it was ridiculously good.
Did you find out the cookies that are on there?
Yes. Oh, these are the ones named after different areas. Like there's the Montauk and
We just need a picture of the box.
cookie.
I'm worried that their customers also might be dying off.
Pepperidge Farm.
Yeah. The
These
Sausalito.
these were eaten by old people when we were kids.
Yeah.
Actually, Sausalito's a good cookie.
Because it's a chocolate chip, right?
It's Sausalito's it's a
Sausalito's-
substantial chocolate
Oh, it's
chip.
a big chocolate chip. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Wait,
What do I have to
Yeah.
look at more?
no. If look, I'm gonna say.
Do I have to?
I'm gonna say the Sausalito if the mint Milano is not in.
It's not.
It's not in that package?
No,
Because
no,
the
no.
Milano is one of the great cookies of all time.
It is. You can dunk it in milk, or you can shove the whole thing in your mouth and take a sip of milk like I do, which my wife calls horsing. And I eat almost everything that way. I just shove it in my mouth and then
And then you use use whatever you're drinking as a
yeah,
plunger.
like that, and then you chew it a little bit, and then that helps you swallow it, and then you can get more food in.
How you want this
And more
spoonful
flavor.
of cinnamon?
And
You're
more
beating
flavor.
the system in your own way there, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing.
That's my center console full of cheese.
Okay.
Doo-dah. Center console full of cheese. All right.
It's the Sausalito. It's a giant chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, I think the Sausalito is the
Sausalito
winner of
wins.
this one.
If your cookie has white chocolate in it, throw it in the damn garbage.
White chocolate is gross.
It's so gross. You don't like white chocolate, do
I
you?
don't hate it. If it's there, I'll do that over
You're
one
so
of the...
kind.
Hey, do you want this chocolate that doesn't taste like chocolate and vaguely tastes like a stick of butter?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You know what?
Nothing you said there sounded bad to me.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay.
Then let's go get dessert. We'll get a black and white cookie and break it in half. All of the chocolate part.
All right.
But that's not white chocolate. That's
Oh, no, it's just
beautiful
frosting,
vanilla.
right?
Yeah, I
All
love the white. You and I
Oh,
will
yeah.
split. We'll cut it into quarters and then we'll eat that.
Done.
Jeez.
All right, what's next?
All right, best sports championship finale. The choices here that they give, and there's an etc. Super Bowl, NCAA football, the NBA Finals, the World Series, Final Four, Stanley Cup, all that stuff.
Oh,
This
I
is-
see.
This is Brandon via email.
Thanks, Brandon. Oof.
So we're talking about, is it the pomp and circumstance of it? Is it the drama that it creates? Because I'll throw the NCAA basketball championship, that championship game. I wouldn't put it up because the quality of basketball being played is substandard.
For which one?
As the greatest finale.
For any like I was excited when my school won. I was very excited.
So this is like best
But
championship.
a lot of college basketball can be 30 seconds of passing and then 3-point shooting at like 30%.
Yeah, but when done well,
Yes.
it's so fun, and it's also guys that are going to be managing a hedge fund in 3 years. Where it really is. It's this alchemy of talent and an offense and a hot hand. And I'm only saying this because the team I care most about is Gonzaga.
Of course.
So when they win, I'm going to go nuts.
I'll be so happy for
I'll
you.
go insane.
I always root for them because of you.
I appreciate it.
I do too.
Man.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
You were color man for them before when you were in school.
Play-by-play.
You were the play-by-play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have a TV deal when I was there.
Oh.
They went my second year there. So people had to watch GUTV, the student cable access. Pretty funny.
It's pretty epic.
Pretty funny.
That's I'm gonna say that the one that comes to mind, just because we get so much of it, it's been around for the longest. Maybe. I don't even know if it's been around for the longest.
World Series?
The World Series. You get potentially 7 games. And it's drama that the whole country is talking about for a whole week. As opposed to the Super Bowl, which is like, Super Bowl is now what people say about things like this. Like, oh, it's the Super Bowl of blank. But the Super Bowl feels like way less about football and more, if it is about the pomp and circumstance, then that's the Super Bowl. But if it's about the game itself, I feel like it's the World Series.
I think any major sporting event, once you get to the championship, there are always really great stories to tell, whether they play
Right.
out over one game or they play out over 4 to 7 games.
Sure.
I'll say that this year's I've seen my hometown I've seen them in every final in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the Phillies win in 2008 and went crazy, but I was only driven to tears when the Eagles won.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was 50 plus years of release for a city
Right.
that had never won that championship. Like, I love our World Series in 2008 wasn't a great World Series. It was great for us because we destroyed the other team. But like the 1986 World Series was a great World Series.
Mm-hmm.
The Cubs Indians World Series
was
a
incredible.
World Series. Anything that goes to 7
That's the one that was popping into my head. Even this last one, and I'm a Dodger fan, but this last World Series was like, Houston was fun to watch.
And you have to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if we're talking specific ones, but for me, the first two are 86. If you remember exactly where you were, and 88. But I
Right.
do kind of think this last year's Dodger Astro one,
It was a blast.
I think just because it was so much back and forth.
But we're not talking about specific ones. We're talking about
Which one
in general. Like, is it the World Series or the Super Bowl? Or can we rule the other ones out? I feel like it's going to be the World Series or the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're talking yes.
So then it comes down to, is it about the stories within the game or is it about the event? You know what I mean? The Super Bowl, I feel like the Super Bowl as an event supersedes the teams that are involved in it. Whereas the World Series, the story is always the teams.
Well, no, I think there are a lot of individual moments. Like, once you get to the game.
Well, the game itself, the story of the World Series is the game itself. The story of the Super Bowl is, who's playing the halftime show? Look at the commercials. Like, who's going to sing the national anthem? You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing I love about baseball so much that I came to appreciate the more I watched it, and I think that people who think it's boring haven't taken the time to dig deep enough, is not only is every game in a 7-game series important, but every inning is important, every at-bat is important, and every single pitch, no matter whatever happens on pitch 1, will completely change. Like, the game plan has to change for the next pitch. And the level of strategy in it is really exciting. The fact that there's no time limit on it, I think actually makes it more exciting too, because they actually they're playing chess. A lot of other sports are, even football to a certain degree, it is chess, but you're under the clock. It feels more checkery, and I know you can play chess with a clock. People on the internet, you don't have to tell me about it. I don't know. I feel like the World Series has created more heroes than the Super Bowl has.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what more people are into, it's for sure the Super Bowl.
Right.
It has to be, but for me, the World Series. Also, it's that you can measure it. Football 50 years ago was a really different game.
Yeah.
But there were guys throwing 98 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to be able to have these benchmarks that have held, where like Shoeless Joe Jackson is still in the top 5 for World Series batting average. And a guy can try to eclipse him this year. There's something about that that's pretty magical.
We have to be careful though I know that the three of us, arguably, I know I've always loved both, but I am more of a baseball fan now than a football fan. You have to take that into consideration, being like this, because we're taking into consideration that we're not arguing baseball versus football. We're arguing the Super Bowl versus the World Series. And in that regard, it's hard to argue with the Super Bowl as being just for the pure spectacle of the thing.
And saying, this is the one game that will settle it.
This is the big
do or
thing.
die.
People who don't watch baseball don't watch the World Series. People who don't watch football watch the Super Bowl.
You know what, though? Just because everybody watches it, I think there's
That's true.
something to the World Series being over the course of 7. Like, the story can change so many times. You know, the Kirk Gibson home run from 1988 was game 1? No, game 1 or 2?
I think, one.
It was like game 1 of the World. It's the moment that everybody
The double
remembers.
fist bump?
And it wasn't even, it was him with like no knees going into pinch hit. And like the story, if you haven't seen Ken Burns' Baseball, Bob Costas telling the story of Kirk Gibson taking practice swings against the net and every swing causing him pain because his knees were so bad. and him telling Tommy Lasorda, "I got one good swing left in me," and that's the Dennis Eckersley slider that lands in the right field bleachers. I think is like that's like one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest sports stories of all time, and that's the first game of I think what wound up being a 5 or 6 game series.
Yeah, A's.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this out then as well. It seems like there's more passion at this table for great moments in the World Series than great moments in the Super Bowl. Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. The Immaculate Reception wasn't in the Super Bowl. That was a playoff game.
Yeah.
John Elway's drive, that was a playoff game. That was a Super Bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
The Philly Special.
Well, no, you don't have to.
Hold near and dear.
The Philly Special, which
moments,
was they borrowed from the other team, they just did it better.
Yeah, it's the Philly Special.
Yeah.
But that was awesome last year. And I think it's so easy to root for you had everybody rooting for you.
Yes.
Absolutely. But I think it's the World Series. I think it's
the World Series. Yeah. All right.
There it is.
I think it is the World Series. Asked and answered.
All right. Let's take a brief break.
Great.
And we'll come back and clean some more of the slate.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Hello, are you looking for a new comedy podcast? In which case, can I draw your attention to the Beef and Dairy Network podcast? It's a fictional industry podcast for the beef and dairy industries. It won Best Comedy at the 2017 British Podcast Awards, and it features wonderful guests such as Greg Davis.
To my knowledge, it's the only cow circus that's ever existed in this country. In rural Russia, every small town has a cow circus.
Josie Long.
You should have a beef. Have a beef with them. I have a beef with you. I will have a beef with you. Come round my house and I'll have a beef with you.
And Andy Daly.
That virus never existed. There was never any such thing as a mad cow disease. That was all an illusion that Big Lamb came up with.
That's the Beef and Dairy Network podcast. Find us at MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts from. And I would recommend starting at episode 1. Bye.
Hello, I'm Ross Blotcher. And I'm Carrie Poppy. We're hosts of MaximumFun.org's Oh No, Ross and Carrie.
We wanted to tell you the good news that our podcast is now weekly.
Yes, weekly. On Oh No, Ross and Carrie, we don't make extraordinary claims, we investigate them.
We go undercover with fringe religious groups, investigate paranormal claims, and participate in pseudoscientific medical treatments, and then report our findings to you.
In a time where alternative facts reign supreme, we cut through murky spin to give you the straight skinny on topics like UFOs, the anti-vaccination movement, Scientology, and even apocalyptic churches.
We're even undercover for some very exciting investigations right now.
Well, not right now. That's Oh No, Ross and Carrie with new episodes every week at MaximumFun.org.
We show up so you don't have to.
All right. E. Clayton Harland II asks, best vegan burger for Hal, because for a brief while I was vegan.
Mm-hmm.
But you were texting me because I gave you the list of all of our topics, and you were going through and just answering all of them, which is great, which I loved. But you have a best vegan burger, because when I was vegan, I didn't eat vegan meat substitutes really. I just ate food that was vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've never found a good one, but you found the best one. I want to hear.
I mean, it's delicious. It's this Impossible Burger. You can't believe it. When I love, you can go to Fat Burger and get whatever you want put on there, and it tastes like a burger. You can't believe it.
So you prefer a vegan burger or vegetarian patty that tastes like meat? You don't, because a lot of times, like if I'm going to do something that is the vegetarian version of a thing, maybe it's because I eat meat that I'm like, if I was going to get the meat version, I would just eat the meat version. Like, but I kind of want a black bean burger, or I want a veggie burger, a garden burger. But you specifically like I want this thing that tastes like meat because I miss it.
Well, supposedly it has plant blood in it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I just know the thing tastes damn delicious. And yeah, sometimes you want to eat raw.
I've had
organic.
one. We had one together at the counter, and
it's crazy, right?
It does taste. It looks and tastes like a freaking burger. It's weird.
It's bizarre. It's probably going to end up being people.
Yeah.
Like now I'm interested. Yes.
I mean, there's something real weird about it, but there's just you always want to eat well, but there's times where you just want something delicious. And the fact that that's an option now
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you can get it like medium rare, which is
so
weird.
So weird.
And it has the texture.
And it has the texture of a
that,
medium rare burger.
saltiness.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a fat burger, so it's however you want it.
Wow.
And then they did it at Umami, and it was ridiculous. It was so good, but you had to order like, I'll have Jaden's Power Trio, and it had like Jaden Smith on the, and I'm like,
No.
I'm doing it. I'm getting Jaden's Power Trio. Let's go.
I love that Jaden Smith capitalizes every word in every tweet he sends as if they are all the title of his newest novel that is only one tweet long.
It might be though.
Yeah.
This guy's playing chess, man.
He really
Come
is.
on. But I do know what you mean, that sometimes you want a veggie burger that like
Right.
tastes like veggies.
Yeah.
So I had one yesterday at Cassell's, which is incredible if you haven't been.
Sam Cassell's restaurant.
I know, it's great. There go Gollum. This place, it used to be, like a classic diner, but it's in the Normandy Hotel. But you go in there, and this thing is incredible. You see the little pieces of vegetable in there, and you can't believe how delicious it is.
Wow.
It is, and I don't know what they're doing, but there's a bunch of places like this. Top 5 in town is the drive-thru right over here.
Which drive-thru? Oh,
Cahuenga.
The Cahuenga in Burbank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, it's just a veggie patty, I'm sure deep fried. You get it with avocado, slather it with ketchup and grilled onions. I'm loving it.
But you're number one. We're deferring to you completely on this one because you are the expert in this regard.
It's called the Ultimate Burger? No, not Ultimate.
The Impossible
Burger.
Yeah, and they have it at a few places, but this thing really could kind of change the world a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah.
It'll
I'm
be
willing to
interesting.
go.
Yeah, try it at Fat Burger and you'll be shocked.
I've gotten now to where, if I want like a steak, I want a steak. But if it's a processed thing, like I'm fine with chicken nuggets with a K and a Y in. You know what I mean?
As long
Like
as it tastes good.
As long as it tastes good, like anything that's that processed by that point, and then a burger is one of those. Like, by the time you're getting a fast food or a diner version of it, it doesn't matter if it's meat or not.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
And I'm sure what's in the chicken with a K and an R isn't natural or great for you. And there's times when I eat it, I'm like, yeah.
Where do you put the R?
I don't know, buddy.
Chicken.
See, you knew.
That's Cardi B's brand.
Yeah.
All right, that's Impossible
the Impossible Burger.
Yeah, I'll say that. Try it at Fat Burger.
All right,
Also
asked
at
and
Umami,
answered.
It's really
Free
good.
plug. Fat Burger, we're ready for your dollars.
Oh, please.
Daniel Painter asks, click top versus twist top pens. Is this even a thing that is anybody not?
Click top.
Yeah.
Yeah, click top.
Yeah. What? No, it's not a pen with a cap.
This question really gets to the root of who is Daniel Painter.
Daniel,
who are you?
Daniel, do you
What's the deal?
have a fishbowl full of pen caps in your apartment that you just stare at like, if only people knew how much better these were?
But the twist bottom pens. That's what he's talking about. Where you twist.
Oh, I thought you were talking about pens with
No. Twist. The twist top. So you twist it and then the pen comes out as opposed to a really awesome
what?
click top pen.
I don't even think I've ever had a
You've
pen.
never
with
had a pen in your Mark. You are an adult.
a twist
male who has
top
been
pen.
on Earth for
Oh,
30 plus
right.
years.
Yeah, where it like it's usually. I feel like those pens are usually the freebie at a hotel.
I always think of the click
The
tops
good
are.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. If you're in a good one. you
Yeah,
get a little
the
twist
Kimpton
top.
hotels, they got one of them twisty pens.
Kimpton's a good one. Extra half
I'm
size
gonna-
there for a reason.
I had it sitting up here. There's somewhere around here. I bought a couple of them because I love them. That clicker pen that has the 4 in it. It's got the black, the blue, the
Oh,
red, and
yeah.
the green.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I was totally hearing that wrong. I heard twist top pen as like the cap on it.
It's got a jar lid and you
Yeah.
have to unscrew it. No,
Oh, well, I apologize for making fun of Daniel Painter and his weird bin of lids.
But still,
Hey, his
who are
question
you?
got asked, but what if he has roomfuls of them? He's invested.
That's true.
He's ready
Yeah.
to go.
No, it's click.
If we,
Click,
we're gonna
Daniel,
say
click.
He's got a trunk full of
Yeah.
twist. He's like, great.
Maryland! A lifetime!
All
Put it
right.
in the room with all the Betamax players. Yeah, that's the click. And then here's what you can do if you're a child, Daniel. Maybe you are. Who knows? You take it apart
Mm-hmm.
and then you put it back together. And then for a second you think, I could probably do this with a car engine.
Yeah. I'm an engineer.
I just need to see it done. I'm so curious about the world around me. I took apart a click top pen.
Do you think there's a Haynes guide for the click top pen?
Yeah.
Like that big manual that shows the exploded view.
Let me get an exploded view of that click top Bic. All right.
Thank you,
Asked and
Daniel
answered.
Painter.
Thank you, Daniel. Brigitte Burton asks, most comical sports team name / mascot.
Are we going pro only?
This is
because there are some. If you do a deep dive online, there are some high schools that have some insane ones.
I mean, the funniest one is probably the University of South Carolina.
Oh, the Cox.
The Gamecocks.
That all their hats just say Cox on them.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any. But is there anything great? Like the Mud Hens is funny. But
the banana slugs always made me laugh.
Oh, the UC Santa Cruz banana slugs?
UC Santa Cruz banana slugs.
Yeah.
What if we're just doing pro teams?
Just pro teams?
Just pro teams. Like, who's the least? I would say the Devil Rays.
The Utah Jazz is a dumb name. Change the name when you move to a state that does not have jazz.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they saddled them with this albatross.
Yeah.
To have to take them. You shall be the Utah Jazz.
The Orlando Magic. There's nothing more Disney than the Orlando Magic as far as names go.
And what is it? Are they a magician, or if you play for the Magic?
It's like a swoosh.
I'm happy to play for the Magic.
Yeah.
I'm a Magic.
So what else is on the table?
I mean, the idea of
the Jazz, the Magic, the Cox, or we're sticking with
No, it can be either. I'm just trying to try to open up for pros too, and I think Jazz is
so dumb.
I have to say,
but it's so dumb. It's kind of great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Canucks and the Philadelphia Phillies are both kind of dumb names. I mean, I love the name Phillies, but it also feels really lazy. What do we call this? I don't know. What do we call the town? Philly? Okay, but more of them.
The reason that DePaul is the Blue Demons is because it used to be the DePaul Blue D Men, and they were that because there was just a blue D on their jerseys. So their name was, hey, what are those guys? Oh, those are the Blue D Men. Then it became the Blue Demons from that.
It's a good logo, though.
Yeah, not bad. Shout out to my alma mater.
There you go, buddy.
Stanford is kind of a dumb because it's a tree, which there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
are they the Stanford trees?
True. Yeah, that's the Stanford Cardinal, but the Cardinal is a tree.
No, the Cardinal's a bird, isn't it?
Not for them. It's not. If you look, it's the S with the tree.
Oh,
the tree
that's
is a cardinal.
dumb.
Yeah.
Syracuse's is pretty dumb too, right?
Well,
it's just
it
an orange.
They were the Saltine Warriors.
Saltine Warriors?
Yes, after Native American tribes in the area. And then at some point, somebody realized that's probably not a good idea to do that. That's disrespectful. So they changed it to they were the orange men and the orange women. And then they were like, why are they the orange men and women? Let's just make them collectively the orange.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you the dumbest team name. This is the funniest though, right?
Most comical.
Because I think the dumbest is what my hometown of Knoxville still has and is one of only 2 schools that has it. The Lady Vols. Because there's the Vols and then there's the Lady Vols. And the Lady Vols are a better basketball team than the men Vols are.
Sure. UConn and Tennessee both have amazing women's basketball programs.
Yeah.
So wait, are you...
I'm just saying that I'm not saying that's comical. I'm saying it's stupid to have lady version of a team.
But are we saying it's comical that we live in an age where there are still there has to be lady Vols?
I don't think it's as funny as the Utah Jazz. I don't know why I'm stuck on this jazz thing. There's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. That's the music of Utah.
Yeah. You would never see that many pairs of khakis in an actual jazz club. Never. Not even one. The only time you see that is when somebody comes in to ask for directions.
Yeah.
My wife and I got lost. We're trying to go
Welcome to our jazz show where everyone's shirt must remain tucked in.
The Oxford sponsored jazz club you go to.
What else do we have? Anything else on the table?
I mean, Utah Jazz is pretty dumb.
All right. I think it's the Utah Jazz. Eric?
I'll vote. I'm with you.
All right.
Sorry, Donovan Mitchell. That's 2 things you lost this year. All right. Clinton Bean says he wants to know Nabisco Saltine versus Nabisco Ritz crackers.
Man, Ritz are so good.
I'll tell you what. If you suffer a GSW during a convenience store robbery and you have to rebuild your entire personality and memory, you're going to fall in love with Ritz crackers. Just like Henry did. Just like Henry. You're going to paint the box. It's going to be the first word you
I was trying to figure out what a GSW was.
Gunshot wound.
Right.
Gunshot wound.
I mean, you watch too much Criminal Minds.
No, I just watched one regarding Henry.
Oh, right.
Ford.
Ritz.
Harrison Ford.
That's right. The great Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
The Ritz cracker is just a saltine, but better because it's got butter flavor, right?
It's buttery and round and
Yeah.
thicker.
It's got to be but though, like, saltines, I feel like are more universally useful.
Right.
I feel like a saltine, you can use it as breadcrumbs. I use saltines to when I make like fish cakes. I use that as the breadcrumbs inside.
Yeah.
They're great over like soup. You know what I mean?
Yes, I love
Yeah.
Saltines with soup. A Ritz with soup would be weird because it would add that extra flavor. But if we're talking about just the cracker, the Ritz is the superior cracker.
I don't know. Now saltine is really coming on strong.
Yeah.
You made a hell of an argument.
Yeah.
When I was sick as a kid, my mother, and like, you can't keep food down, you get saltines maybe with a little jelly on them.
Yeah.
Melt them, or even now, you get a matzo ball soup, and then you put the saltines
Yes,
in there.
you do. Yes, you do.
Even with the matzo ball, you still need the salt.
Absolutely.
Also,
do.
saltines fat free.
Are they really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to it. You could have a whole bunch of them.
Man.
We used to go to a steakhouse when I was a kid that we loved going to up in the mountains. And they would always have just a basket of saltines on the table. And by the end of, I don't know, the first cup of water that I had on the table, the table would just be a sea of saltine wrappers. Because as a little kid, I thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
Oh.
But also as a neat freak, it drove me crazy because saltine wrappers, they're unruly. They're very unwieldy, especially if you have 100 of them in front of you.
They can't stack well.
They do not stack well.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But this isn't about the best wrapper.
But with soup, saltines and clam chowder.
Yeah, I think this.
I mean,
It's a versa. It's an everything crack. That's like the working person's cracker.
Dude, Ritz.
That's right.
Yeah.
Take that. All right. Last one.
All right. Did we do all 10?
This is all 10.
Wow. Good job,
Slate
guys.
today. Deborah Abraham says, why does I say says like she's going to say, dear, we got this. I never write letters like this. However.
I thought this would never happen to me.
Yeah. There I was listening to a podcast and three morons were talking about real cheese for longer than anybody ever should.
3.5.
All right. Deborah Abraham asks, refrigerators with the freezer on top or with the freezer on the bottom? I'll add a third one. Which is the side by side.
I hate the freezer on the bottom. Drives me crazy.
Oh, I have a freezer on the bottom and I cannot stand it.
Because it's just like, it's really just a drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
you're bending over for and like stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a freezer that makes stuff harder to get to.
I don't want to do squats if I need a popsicle.
I also don't keep anything on the bottom of my fridge.
Right.
For that reason. I don't feel like bending over and getting stuff out of the crisper.
The bottom area of the fridge is for vegetables and fruit so that you're being mindful. Like, all right, if I need to eat healthy, I'm going to have to work for it.
I should probably eat those someday.
I'm doing it.
Is that really a thing?
It's in my mind. It makes sense.
That makes sense.
That's where the crispers are. Like, you're going intentionally to go get them as opposed to like, eye level. I'm going to open it up. There's some Breyer's mint chocolate chip ice cream. I just reach for it. I barely have to raise my arm over shoulder level.
Guys, we got to get outside and exercise more. If all three of us are like, bending over is the worst.
Hey, those doors stick shut. That's enough of a workout trying to pry that thing open.
Or if you don't know that it's open.
Yeah.
Then
they go too far. Oh my goodness.
I've done it before with him.
I like the drama of a big double door of like the
drama.
You know, the big, like you open up both doors and because I have a bad habit. My roommate from New York will tell you this. I have a bad habit of when I'm bored, I will just open the fridge and stare inside it until I see something that I want to eat out of nothing but boredom.
Oh, the intrigue every time. It's like arsenic and old lace opening up that refrigerator. I just don't know what will I find? Perhaps some old rubbery celery?
Ooh, I had some of that yesterday.
Do you eat it or you just throw it out?
No, I eat it. I don't like to throw stuff out.
That is true.
Yeah.
Uncle Mark.
Shut up. You guys are both still in my life.
All right, he wins.
Yeah.
He wins.
Got it. So it's freezer on the top.
Freezer on the
top.
Because the side by side is like it's too small. It's too big of a freezer and too small of a fridge.
I don't need a freezer that big. I don't fill a freezer that big.
I didn't kill a deer.
Somehow that freezer, the freezer on the side, it's generally smaller than the fridge side, but it feels like all it does is make your fridge smaller. And yet, even though it's as tall as the fridge, it still feels like there's no room.
Yeah.
For some reason, the vertical freezer feels tinier than the freezer on top.
Yep.
So we're going with freezer on top?
Freezer on top.
Freezer on top. Asked and answered.
All right.
The slate is clean.
The slate is clean. Eric Edelstein.
Thank you, friends.
Thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is real exciting.
Is there anything We Bear Bears still happening, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Going strong.
Going strong.
Where should people go? Where do you want to send people? This time's yours.
Eric J. Edelstein on Instagram.
There it is.
Full of good dog pictures.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. These topics have been settled.
Yeah. Yes, they have. This is done. I'm just laughing at Eric, that being the only thing, because that's the most you thing you could do. Is there anything you want to promote?
I'm doing good stuff with dogs on Instagram.
He's doing good stuff with dogs on Instagram. Watch We Bear Bears. Watch the new Twin Peaks. You'll see Eric all over the new Twin Peaks.
You have a movie coming out?
You literally have stuff coming out all the time.
Oh, I have one with Juggalos. That's the one.
Time Out.
Oh, yeah.
Time Out.
Oh, yeah.
Not the Insane Clown Posse, but with Juggalos.
And the Insane Clown
Posse. The ICP. Yeah. Shaggy Q Dope and...
is in the movie. I saw him at the Hampton Suites in Atlanta, Georgia. Not to name drop, but there it was, gentlemen. You know, you're getting some inside Hollywood dish.
I do love a Hampton Suites.
Oh, yeah. They were...
free breakfast, free Wi-Fi.
Just working the screw top thing to get cornflakes into a bowl.
Happy to do it. Happy to do it.
Just happy. Just wants a meal.
It's free, man. Everything just changed.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Eric. This topic is covered, but there are many more to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
you can email us at WeGotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or go to Facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, for giving us a chance to finally sit down with Eric and clean the slate. Not that we wouldn't. That's what the topic, the central focus of this show is that this is just what we would be doing anyway.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh,
but now we're recording it. So thank you for listening. Thanks for going on the ride with us. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.